Welcome, everyone. Today, we are redefining what a smartphone can do. Get ready for the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SAVVA. Today, we are incredibly proud to show you the next leap forward.
Finally, the decentralized social in your hands. Available in Apple Store today.
We did it. We did it.
All right, that's it. Finally done.
Hello, everyone. We are about to begin our live stream. We have a momentous day ahead of us. We have officially launched the SAVVA application for iPhone users. Can you hear me clearly? Yes, I see everything is working perfectly. Excellent. So, what exactly is going to happen today? Well, take a look. Here's the plan for today's live stream. So, it just so happened that quite a significant number of people connected, specifically subscribers to my channel, joined us today. Therefore, I'll likely take a couple of minutes to articulate some general remarks about the project we're developing and why, from my perspective, it's truly fascinating. And after that, I will actually demonstrate to you the fundamental capabilities of the SAVVA application as it operates on the iPhone platform. We'll take a live look at how the application works. After that, we'll have a guest. I hope he'll join us. He hasn't arrived yet. Igor Smirnov, the founder of the Paris Camp website in Paris. This is a social network which is built on the SAVVA platform, and it is one of the which is clearly outgrowing the very concept of a social network as such, progressively and undeniably transforming into a substantial cultural movement within the vibrant city of Paris. He's going to fill us in on all the very latest news. There's a lot of exciting things happening there. And finally, I'll talk a little, and I strongly advise everyone to stick around till the very end about what's in store for us all later this year. We have huge plans, not just for this year, but I'd even say for next month. I'm hoping there will be major news and some truly interesting events happening then as well. All right, let's get started. Okay. The SAVVA platform, what is it? SAVVA is a social platform, meaning it's not merely a standalone social website, but more accurately, a comprehensive technology. A technology which allows you to launch various social networks. Moreover, this social platform was developed specifically with the understanding that we currently live in an era where the era of crypto technologies. Let me just turn off that banner regarding the Russian and English languages. Yes, just a couple of words. As usual, all the slides will be in English. Don't worry if you don't understand English. I'll translate everything. These are mostly just notes for myself, so I don't forget to say something. There isn't anything super important on these slides. However, these are somewhat half-hearted solutions because we have quite a lot of people who do not speak Russian. And that's why all the streams I do, I later upload with an English translation. So accordingly, I make all the slides in English from the start. Right. What does a social platform for the era of crypto technologies mean? So what exactly did crypto technologies bring, and what have they given to humanity? In my opinion, they brought another level of freedom. So if we consider the most fundamental operation in crypto technologies, a straightforward transfer of funds from one digital wallet to another, for instance. In traditional finance before, transferring money from one account to another wasn't something you could simply do just by making a personal decision like, I want to send the funds, and that would be the end of it. No, it necessitated a massive number of diverse participants. There must be various entities, such as governments and central banks, that issue their own distinct forms of currency. There are financial institutions, banks. I have to go to a bank. Ask the bank to transfer the money. The bank will decide, can I do this or can't I do this? Am I allowed to send this money to this specific recipient? It's an entire, very complicated situation where there exists a vast multitude of other individuals who are involved in the process of reaching this seemingly simple decision regarding the transfer of money. Crypto technologies made a crucial thing possible. They returned the freedom to make decisions at the level of the individual. So every person who possesses a private key can personally decide whether or not to send money, to whom to send it, and in what quantity, on which blockchain, and so on. The first significant aspect is an additional tier of liberty, and the character of this freedom is quite appealing to me because it doesn't merely arrive as a complimentary offering, rather it is accompanied by the complete burden of accountability. Thus, this is that genuine freedom. Any real freedom always comes with responsibility. Therefore, if the private key owner accidentally sent those funds to the wrong address or an amount different from what they desired, they alone bear the full and complete burden of responsibility for that error. There is no customer support phone number for Bitcoin that you can call to reverse or roll back a transaction or to file a complaint or anything of that nature. None of that exists whatsoever. These are the basic operations. We're just trying to send money. But it quickly became clear that besides just sending money from one account to another, you can do a lot of other interesting things. And we see how the industry is rapidly developing and a whole DeFi industry has emerged. So all the financial operations that were traditionally part of conventional finance are progressively undergoing transformation, discovering their unique and novel manifestations within crypto technologies. Thus, within this particular framework, SAVVA represents an endeavor to fundamentally reevaluate and redefine what we understand as freedom of speech. Thus, the intention is to completely restore to every single individual the freedom of making their own decisions. If someone desires to express themselves or to publish any post, that should be their personal decision. They shouldn't be forced to ask for this permission from Facebook or Twitter. They should be able to make that decision themselves. But the second part is also very important. For that, they will personally assume complete responsibility for their actions. The SAVVA system is built on these fundamental principles. So, technologically speaking, it stands on two. I always want to say whales, but in the crypto industry, whales means something a bit different. Let's say on two pillars. It stands on two. Decentralized technologies. The first, quite simply, is the blockchain itself. This provides a means for achieving consensus on various transactions. We'll leave that unexplained for now, but we'll return to it shortly. And the second very important part is called IPFS. It's a decentralized file system. This provides the capability to save files, to save content, not on just some separate computer, not on a single disk, not in a single database, but in a decentralized way across the entire planet. Even more than just one planet, because the very term IPFS itself translates as interplanetary file system. Just a little fun fact there. So basically, the core principles of the SAVVA platform are very simple. Anyone can easily create a certain type of content. For example, we can call it a posten or perhaps an artikeln. To publish it, to place it into the decentralized IPFS file storage system, and then to execute a small registration transaction on the blockchain. This transaction will cryptographically verify that the owner of the private key, specifically tied to this particular address, is indeed registering this exact content within IPFS, thereby designating it as their personal post. That's essentially all there is to it. SAVVA is founded precisely on that. Everything else is built on top. That's where we try to implement some interesting tokenomics. What can be achieved with all this dynamic interaction and the development of efficiently operating client applications so that this entire system performs with speed, fluidity, and aesthetic appeal? And today's iPhone application should be the solid confirmation of our dreams about just how well this can truly be achieved. Now, the next very crucial principle regarding the SAVVA platform is this. Such systems naturally have to be open source. What does open source mean? It signifies that all the code we develop is made publicly accessible. So there are no hidden secrets, no undisclosed hacks or attempts to steal someone's money. None of that exists. Why? Because just like blockchain itself, just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, our project is also open source. And by the end of last year, a significant portion of our entire code base was already released as open source. Not all of it is open yet, but we are certainly moving in that direction. However, a substantial amount of our code has already been released into the public domain, allowing anyone who feels inclined and wishes to do so to launch a similar decentralized social network on their own, without even asking for our permission. We're not selling anything, so you don't need to buy any licenses from us. None of that is required. It's open source, just like Linux. You can download, compile, and run it yourself. Everything will work. Next, a vital point. Our system supports subscriptions. If you find a creator who produces content that you find interesting, you can subscribe to them and in that way arrange for some weekly payments to be made to them. It's actually very similar to how the Patreon system works. With one important difference, Patreon takes a significant portion of the money for itself. However, here, given that there's no central company backing this entire framework, and it's completely a decentralized open source endeavor, the funds you allocate to a creator directly reach that creator. Additionally, we've implemented something quite remarkable. Because both the payment system and our content registration system operate on the same blockchain, we're able to achieve things that would be exceedingly challenging for platforms like Patreon. For instance, the creator receiving rewards from their subscribers is tied directly to the very act of them publishing and continuously publishing posts. How does that look? It looks like this. I can designate a payment to a creator, my favorite creator, of, let's say, $3 a week, but they will only receive those $3 if they continue to publish posts within the system. If they cease publishing, if they no longer post anything, abandoning this endeavor to switch to other social networks or to stop publishing entirely, then they simply won't receive those funds. This is a truly fantastic quality, which ensures our creators are consistently motivated to continue sharing their content. I think it's a wonderful feature that we came up with. We're very happy that it's working so well for us. Okay, quickly, what else do we have? Right. The system has the ability to publish exclusive content. What does this mean? It signifies that an author can choose to publish a post, making it public. This implies that everyone who accesses our platform will be able to view it. But this other post I'm not going to publish for everyone, but only for those who are subscribed to me. For example, if you pay me, say, $3 a week, then you will see that post while everyone else won't even know that such a post exists in the system. And regarding this particular feature, there's some very significant news today. I'll tell you about it a little later on. We'll delve into more specifics in that section. There's a fantastic new capability within the system that greatly enhances the entire framework pertaining to paid subscriptions. And the last important point about the SAVVA platform in general is that from the very beginning it was designed to be what's known as multi-blockchain, enabling it to operate across various blockchains. We have a pretty long history with this project. We were first on one blockchain, then another. At some point, we realized we didn't want to depend on any single blockchain anymore. Our goal is to create a platform that can be effortlessly and openly deployed across various blockchains. Not all of them. Specifically, we're discussing EVM-compatible blockchains, those supporting the Ethereum virtual machine. However, it's crucial for us to transcend the limitations imposed by being confined to a single particular blockchain. Those of you who've been with us for a significant period already know that the current version of the SAVVA platform operates on a blockchain known as Pulse Chain. We'll talk about that separately in due time. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was probably the right one. We've journeyed quite a significant way on Pulse Chain, and we remain dedicated to its continued support. But there will be news about other blockchains very, very soon. And I will also discuss that in more detail towards the end of today's stream. Okay, moving on. So what exactly are we launching today? The iPhone application. Once again, for those who have been with us for a while, you likely caught our live stream when we rolled out the Android application. Now, some of the features I will be discussing today for the SAVVA iPhone application will naturally echo what we implemented for Android, but there will also be innovative additions. The first crucial decision is that our application intrinsically incorporates a full-fledged crypto wallet. The word fully functional in my sentence was unnecessary. I shouldn't have said it. Fully functional, supporting SAVVA's complete platform functionality. It's not a generic wallet you can use for other purposes. Rather, it's a specialized wallet designed to work exclusively with the transactions necessary for the SAVVA platform. Why did we decide to do this? The main reason is, regrettably, that as of now, there isn't a well-established and functional standard for the interaction between crypto wallets and applications. Indeed, there are already quite a number of crypto wallets available that you can readily install on your iPhone devices, and for the most part, they generally function with a reasonable degree of stability when interacting with various web browsers. Thus, if you open a website in your browser, you can connect one of your wallets, such as MetaMask, and for the most part, manage to make it function. Although periodically everything there works unstably, and overall there simply isn't a good, reliable standard for any application to effectively interact with. For crypto wallets, there is no good standard. We've assessed the current situation, and frankly, it's quite dreadful as it stands today. And so we took a rather radical step and decided that instead of implementing all sorts of different interfaces for third-party crypto wallets, we decided to just build a crypto wallet right into our application. This means that after installing the SAVVA application, you will no longer have to bother with installing any additional crypto wallets. Everything you need to work with the SAVVA system is right inside the application. It is absolutely crucial to state here that, generally speaking, storing crypto private keys on computers or phones is simply a really bad practice. And if possible, it is really best not to do that. However, we do have sufficient arguments to justify why, for a social platform like SAVVA, this is an absolutely normal and not at all frightening practice. And the main argument is this: you absolutely do not need to store private keys in our application. The private keys for those accounts where you currently hold any substantial or real crypto assets. That is to say, there's absolutely no need for it. You can totally set up a special wallet exclusively for interacting with our social network. Its private key is saved in the application, and all you can do with that private key is, well, operate within the SAVVA platform, publish posts, support other people, and so on. And there's absolutely no need to transfer any significant crypto assets to these specific addresses. So, in this specific mode, I feel it's entirely appropriate. And it's truly vital, of course, to emphasize that this crypto wallet has been fundamentally built and meticulously implemented in full accordance with the absolute best practices currently recognized in the industry. It remarkably, and I mean in a secure way, stores your information directly within your phone, keeping it safe and sound. We spent a huge amount of time creating a proper generator for new wallets. Therefore, it operates according to the absolute highest standards, but it's still restricted only to the functionalities that are essential for the SAVVA platform. You can't transfer any sort of token from our wallet to an external account, for instance. USDT to some random account from our wallet, it's technically impossible, therefore it's quite a secure solution. Okay, let's move on. Yes, a very important thing. As I said, SAVVA allows launching many different social networks. A number of them have already launched, and I'm really hoping many more will be launched very soon. Therefore, our SAVVA application is designed to support not just one, but any and all of these networks simultaneously. Thus, beyond simply functioning as a client for a social network, it also serves as an aggregator, unifying various social networks within a single interface. Consequently, when we proceed with the demonstration, I will illustrate precisely how this is structured and operates. When you install the application, you can immediately choose which social networks you're interested in, either include them or not in your list of interests. After that, your post feed, or rather your stream of publications, will comprehensively combine all the posts from all the social networks you're interested in, creating a complete and personalized view. And consequently, if you ever happen to launch your very own SAVVA network, your own distinct social media platform, one you don't even have to inform us about, this application will also support your network. You will be able to simply go into the application, enter the URL of your social network, select Enable It, and that's it. Your content will then seamlessly start appearing within this very application. Well, as I've already mentioned, within the application, all the necessary features for interacting with the platform are readily available. Consequently, all the operations required to fully function within this social network can be performed directly on your phone, utilizing the integrated crypto wallet. So, what precisely am I referring to here? You can transfer tokens to one another, support content creators, take part in fundraising efforts, stake your tokens, and unstake them as well. All these necessary operations can be done very easily, right from inside your phone. This entire tokenomics just works. Of course, the system includes comprehensive profile management. Therefore, any person who engages with our platform has the primary option to register a unique username, thereby substituting that cumbersome and extensive crypto address, which is quite impractical to use. Instead of relying on such a lengthy address, each person can register a short, memorable name. And it can also include uploading your own custom image or avatar. What's usually called an avatar. Yes, and a very important thing is that all this information is handled in exactly the same way as the posts themselves. This information isn't stored in some corporation's database, it's decentralized. Your image, your avatar, will also be stored in the decentralized IPFS system, and a small transaction will take place on the blockchain to signify that this address, from this moment forward, requests that specific file located on unknown computers be recognized as its avatar. Yes, a truly vital aspect is font support. It's crucial to state that social networks like SAVVA, being of this particular nature, are actually more akin to platforms such as Medium rather than the likes of Facebook or Twitter. This is decidedly not a platform intended for the incessant posting of myriad short, trivial messages. It would be better to view this platform as a place where you can publish various articles or other significant pieces of content. Right. And this leads to the fact that a significant portion of our posts are quite long. It's what's called a long read, meaning it takes a long time to read. And because of that, the requirements for the quality of the post presentation are very high. I don't know. I'm sure you've been there too. I often find myself in this situation where I see interesting content on my phone, an article, and I press the button, I try to read it, but I simply cannot because the font is just absolutely terrible. It cannot really be adjusted. If I attempt to enlarge it, a portion of the article disappears off the screen of the phone, making it utterly impossible to read. We took the time and we got it done. Yes, we implemented font support. This means that each person can select the perfect font, adjust the size, and set the ideal line spacing to suit their individual vision. All of this entire system works effectively, making reading on our platform exceptionally comfortable. Yes, on the iPhone, the system itself supports two distinct types of interfaces. Color themes, light and dark. Correspondingly, our application also supports both of these. By the way, something very interesting came up. Most programmers love dark themes. And I think it's obvious why. Because we spend a huge amount of time in front of a screen, and the bright light, of course, irritates the eyes. However, individuals with a humanities background tend to favor lighter themes for some reason. And I really enjoy explaining this to myself by thinking that they're probably brighter people, so they're drawn to the light. I think that's a nice, pleasant piece of information. Yes, of course, the application supports the fundraisers that are periodically held on the platform. But maybe when Igor Smirnov joins us, he'll say a few words about the successful fundraisers that have already taken place on the platform. Yes, a very important thing, as I said, the post format itself in the system isn't just text, it's a complex structure, much more complex than in many other systems. Accordingly, within a post, there can be images, videos, and various audio files. And the application displays all of this in a truly wonderful manner. Thus, you just need to insert an audio file into your post, and it will immediately be presented as a small audio player within the content. You can play it right inside the post. In general, the post format is very advanced in the system. I've only just mentioned two things. In reality, it's a whole story. There's an entire separate large document in our documentation that describes the format of posts in the SAVVA system. Two small things. First off, a single post can be simultaneously prepared and formatted in several different languages. This is a truly unique and fascinating feature, something almost no one else possesses, and it yields phenomenal results, enabling the creation of content that can be effortlessly consumed by speakers of various languages. Thus, we have how users of the same social network can speak different languages, and this truly does not create any hindrance or obstacle to their interaction. Because if a person speaks French and visits, let's say, the SAVVA site, they'll see not just the interface in French, but all the content in French as well. If a Russian speaker visits the site, they'll see both the interface and content in Russian. This is a truly outstanding quality. Moreover, another significant capability we have integrated within the post format is comprehensive support for chapters. Thus, a post can indeed contain chapters. This implies that, in principle, one could publish an entire book as a single post, complete with Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. And what's more, you don't have to publish these chapters all at once. Thus, if someone is writing a book and intends to publish it for public access, SAVVA stands as the truly ideal platform for them. This is because one can continually append new chapters, building upon the book's preceding and existing sections. In this manner, the entire work can be progressively released over time. And this accordingly isn't solely about books, because for example, on the Dolly Club website, which is dedicated to enthusiasts of doll making, they leverage this capability in a completely distinct manner, demonstrating its versatile application beyond literary content. So first, they create a post containing a captivating description of a wonderful toy. And then, as an additional chapter, they meticulously detail the instructions on exactly how to craft that doll, how to cut, how to sew, all those intricate steps involved. Thus, there are various excellent ways to effectively utilize this feature. Yes, right inside the application, there's built-in support for artificial intelligence. This is a capability that we brought to fruition last year. It has been exceptionally, incredibly, and remarkably well received by our users. Moreover, artificial intelligence enables the system to comprehensively aid in preparing posts for publication. Thus, you can compose some text, then hit a button, and the artificial intelligence will then step in to assist you, much like an editor, in getting your publication ready for a post. It will correct any errors, strategically insert punctuation, subtly refine the style, and ultimately automatically translate it into every language supported across that particular social network. It's an absolutely amazing feature. If there's time, we might even see it. Well, I've already mentioned subscription management. You can certainly subscribe to an author. For instance, here's an example page where you can subscribe to Dmitry Vedenyapin. If anyone doesn't know him, he's a truly remarkable and amazing. A contemporary Russian poet, a truly remarkable and incredibly interesting individual. And truly, he's a man of letters with a capital L. It's an immense pleasure to both listen to him and simply be in his presence. So if any of his admirers are out there in the world, well, we are truly fortunate and delighted that Dmitry consistently publishes his remarkable works with us here. Not just poems, but also some memories from his life. It's all very interesting. So come on over and read Dmitry Vedenyapin's work on our platform. All right, onto the new features. This is what I promised earlier. There are new changes, things not there yesterday. Here's the change, take a look. As I mentioned earlier, we have an option available for authors to publish exclusive content. Content that not everyone will see, but only their subscribers, their paid subscribers. Yes, however, there is a certain problem with that. The problem is this, that feature, that option isn't very popular on the system. And that's pretty easy to explain. Why? Because here's what happens now. We don't have that many paid subscribers. So let's say an author wants to publish some exclusive content. They go into the editor, craft a wonderful post containing something immensely intriguing, a piece of information they wish to keep private, sharing it only with their dedicated supporters, not the general public. And they check the box that says, publish this content only for my paid subscribers, who compensate me, for instance, a minimum of $3 per week. And the system gently writes back to them, your post will be seen by 0 people. Why? Because, well, at the moment, they don't have any subscribers who pay them $3 a week. Or say they have 2 subscribers. The system says 2 people will see this post. Thus, the author finds themselves in a difficult situation. They understand they can publish this, but no one will ever see it. And because of this, they simply don't bother. Yet on the flip side, there are many individuals who genuinely admire this particular author's work. They truly enjoy reading their content, yet they don't subscribe to them, nor do they opt for a paid subscription. Why? And what for? Everything they post for free anyway, so what's the point? And we end up with this chicken and egg problem where we can't get this dynamic going. So today, it appears we are finally launching a new feature that is designed to effectively address and resolve this particular issue. This feature is presented as follows. Now the author gains an additional capability, allowing them to proceed in this particular manner. When publishing their next post, they can say, yes, this post will be seen only by those subscribed to me who've paid for a subscription, say for, well, let's just say $3. I'm not sure where I got that figure, but let's make it $3 a week. And the system will tell them, you have no such subscribers, so 0 will see this post. But, however, the author could also add, and for everyone else who isn't a subscriber of mine, I will allow them to purchase access to this particular post, for instance, for 50 cents, but exclusively for this single post. So here's what happens next. Take a look. On the following screen, I'll demonstrate precisely how this scenario appears from a reader's viewpoint. In their newsfeed, here are 3 screenshots. Let's look at the first one. In the newsfeed, in the author's post feed, a specific post will appear from that author. Well, here the author is named Test 3. Naturally, this was just a test post. There. And from this post, you'll only see the title. Well, for instance, the title of this post, for those who don't read English, goes something like this. Actually, I really shouldn't be publishing this, but followed by an ellipsis. This is indeed a very intriguing title, one that strongly suggests that if you were to actually delve into its contents, you would discover something profoundly interesting and captivating awaiting you inside. And on the post itself, a button glows. You can view it by paying 200 SAVVA tokens, which is about $1. Should the individual decide they are indeed interested, they can then simply press the button, and this action will immediately lead them to the second screenshot. In order to see this post, we click Confirm Purchase, and voila, the post immediately opens up, revealing everything hidden inside. I believe this is a truly wonderful opportunity that will ultimately enable authors to begin cultivating these essential relationships with their audience. They are empowered to make their own decisions, and over time, this entire framework is specifically designed to continuously increase the number of paid subscribers for our talented content creators. And here, I must emphasize once more that these are the paid subscribers of the creators themselves. They are not Facebook's paid subscribers, or anyone else's for that matter. And all of these funds are directly deposited into the author's personal account. So for the author themselves, this creates a new dynamic emerges for cultivating relationships with their audience. The creator always has the option to decide that certain content is so compelling that they wish to make it accessible exclusively to those who genuinely, truly, and wholeheartedly support them. It's also available to others, but for a moderate fee. And all of this is configured to boost the revenue stream of funds for our authors. In fact, everything we do, we conceived it specifically to support interesting content creators. So this incredible opportunity is now emerging within the system. It's implemented not only on phones, such as the iPhone app, but it's also already available for Android and through the web. Consequently, every single client of the SAVVA platform, including that particular web client, which is entirely and fully open source, they all already completely support this capability. So, before we give the floor to our guest, who I think is already warming up over there. However, let's take a quick moment to see what this app actually looks like. It's always much more interesting when you can actually see what the application truly looks like. Let me just quickly remove this little thing from here, and then I'll switch on that very specific one. All right. Let's make this full screen for everyone to see. Here's our app. This is what it looks like. Here we see the very latest posts, including those from Ilya Videnyapin, who literally published something just 6 hours ago, and I honestly haven't even had the chance to read it yet. So, how exactly can we approach this? How can we really observe and understand what reading posts truly entails? For instance, if we consider a lengthy post from Pacta Civitas. From the Pacta Civitas site, this Pacta Civitas is a libertarian community in Montenegro that has also launched their own website on the SAVVA platform. And by the way, it's become phenomenally interesting lately. They are constantly publishing extraordinary interesting articles. I really enjoy reading them all. So this is what the content itself looks like. We can switch to another language because this particular website, specifically since it's in Montenegro, it supports. I actually misspoke. It doesn't matter where it is located, it offers multi-language support. English, Spanish, Russian, and Serbian. Accordingly, we can switch to the Russian language and read what it looks like in Russian. A very important thing to note, if our app's interface is already configured for the Russian language, then we will automatically open all content within our app in Russian, and we won't even realize that there might be versions available in other languages. There. What else? Oh yes, we can change the fonts, sizes, all that stuff. Okay, what else interesting can we take a look at around here? Yes, here's the list of SAVVA sets that I'm interested in on this app. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different networks. So in the app, I see all the aggregated content from these 5 different SAVVA networks. There. And, well, just a couple of steps, literally a couple of words about the editor. If I press the button to create a new post, the first thing it asks me is, in which of these networks that I work with do I want to publish my post? This is truly important because, as a unified platform, my account, which is essentially my blockchain address, functions simultaneously across all these diverse sites. You don't need to register separately on each one or do anything like that. None of that. It's a completely open platform. So let's say I want to publish a post on the savva.app site. So I get into the editor and I start to write some kind of text, just text. No big deal. Let there be a mistake. That's actually interesting. This is my very first post on this SAVVA platform, you know. Same mistake twice. Interesting. I've written some text, not the most interesting, I suppose. So, what can I do now? I can simply click on the AI Assistant button and instruct it, please prepare this post for publication. The AI Assistant will review what I've written there, and much like a skilled editor would, it will correct all the mistakes, fix syntax errors, insert all the necessary commas, and beyond that, it will even translate everything into all the various languages that this particular social network actually supports. That's it. This post is now ready for publication. I'm ready to press the button, and everyone will see this wonderful post of mine, and each person will see it in the language they speak. That, in my opinion, is a truly remarkable thing. Oh yes, I also forgot to show you something else. When I'm working on this in the editor, in my post settings, there's that exact section we discussed. I can designate it as being exclusively for my subscribers. We won't do that at the moment, as this is just a test account. And there you can specify whether to allow or disallow access, and at what price people can buy access to view this particular post. So that's roughly what our application looks like. It's been available in the application store since early this morning, when its registration was successfully completed. The only caveat is, Apple has stated that it won't be simultaneously accessible in every country right away. So if by any chance you don't yet see an application called SAVVA in your catalog, please wait just a little bit longer. It's simply a slight delay on Apple's part. That covers everything I wanted to discuss regarding the application. Now let's welcome our wonderful guest into the studio. I can see he's all set and ready to go. Igor, my good friend, hello.
Hello, the guest is in the studio.
The guest is in the studio. Listen, how are things going over there in your one wonderful Paris with your amazing site, Paris Camp?
Wonderfully, thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your channel's growth. It's really...
Honestly, you. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm a bit taken aback because the subscriber count has passed 5,000. I still don't quite grasp what's actually going on. The only logical explanation I can come up with for it is that what we talk about here, we don't comment on other people's things, events, but we talk about what we do ourselves. And I have a suspicion that people like that. So, first and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has subscribed to the channel lately. We've officially crossed the 5,000 mark, and honestly, I still haven't fully grasped or processed my own new status quite yet. Well, anyway, Igor, welcome to a very popular YouTube channel. Tell us everything.
Yeah, thanks. I wish you continued growth. I think you're absolutely right. Sincerity is captivating, and Paris Camp actually is a good transition to us. Paris Camp, I think, is also about that kind of sincerity, right? Because it was quite a chaotic idea how it all came to be, really. Since the channel is growing, and this is my second time here, I'll remind everyone what Paris Camp is. So at the moment, it's a kind of community, a community of like-minded individuals. It is, however, a platform designed to specifically support certain individuals and creative projects, many of whom are currently based in Paris. However, we also have our colleagues and team members who are not exclusively based in Paris. And, you know, it all began with just one particular project, a rather small endeavor perhaps to help fund a concert or acquire some essential equipment. And then, simply put, just realizing what we talked about even before the SAVVA platform was created, Sasha and I have known each other for quite a few years now, even more than that.
20? Yes, we were just counting recently.
Some photos, right? Yeah. But it's truly fantastic because what technology enables us to achieve today is precisely what Sasha and I discussed years ago. We have many friends who are creatives, amazing musicians, poets, and artists who constantly find themselves having to work other jobs. And there was some kind of unique feature that would help these guys to have some kind of passive income. Oh, if only there was something to help them achieve that. But what if we could actually allow creative people to truly be a part of the crypto world, with all the rights involved, to join in all that, right? The lows, but also the highs. If it grows, then everyone wins. So of course the SAVVA platform enables us to achieve this, and Paris Camp, which is built upon this very technology, truly embodies that spirit. We're happy that this opportunity exists. So what's happening in Paris? In Paris, let me tell you something interesting. You know, we were just talking with someone recently, and there's this perfect analogy. It's like we all know history is cyclical, that it continually repeats itself. And it's the exact same thing that took place, let's say, 100 years ago when people like, I don't know, Hemingway, right? Americans were all fleeing, everyone was escaping to Paris. These very 20s, when everything was truly vibrant there with Picasso and all, I mean, it was simply an epicenter, an explosive epicenter of creativity. The same thing is happening now, and not just with Russian-speaking people, Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, but we're also seeing the same with Americans. Yeah, there again.
For obvious reasons, too.
For obvious reasons, absolutely, yes. Overall, it just absolutely blows your mind, yes, when you discover these coexisting or intersecting bubbles within the confines of a single city all in one place. So, let's get back to Paris Camp. For us, everything really started with one friend. Inviting another, talking about another friend's project. Right. And that's how it really took off for us. In just over a year since the Paris Camp came into being, because we officially launched in January of last year. So, we've been active for about a year now. Could I have possibly imagined that we'd be producing the kind of things we are filming at this very moment? For instance, we're currently producing a full-length feature film directed by the acclaimed cult director Arthur Aristakisian. For those of you unfamiliar with him, simply Google his name. This man has only made 2 films in his entire life, and both are freely available on YouTube. He shot both films on 16mm and won every single prestigious film festival you could possibly imagine. Arthur, he took home some prizes there for us. Prizes of some kind. He is a truly brilliant individual who also relocated to Paris. And so he decided to shoot his 3rd film. We just got lucky enough to cross paths with him somehow. And now Paris Camp is filming this movie on classic 16mm film, and we've already completed shooting a whole 1/3 of it. And it is simply amazing what we've achieved with this.
Excuse me for interrupting you, but it's incredibly gratifying to highlight that the film stock was actually purchased with money collected specifically through the SAVVA platform.
That's truly fantastic. And honestly, I wanted to mention, you know, I'm watching your stream, and I really believe we should consistently do something in this format, something cooperative. Perhaps with Paris Camp, our YouTube channel, which we are actively developing, will open it up. And following your example, I truly believe it will be highly beneficial because it provides such a clear and visual way to demonstrate exactly how the platform works, how funds genuinely reach an artist, a poet, a director, or anyone else, and how individuals can actively participate. Because it's quite true, and you very accurately explained the situation regarding Patreon. Yes, there's logic to it, and obviously we're better than Patreon because 100% of the money raised goes to the project and directly to that individual. And we can simply invite those who wish to participate. That is to say, we are not actively collecting funds. No, but letting someone feel involved, participate, be a part of something that's being created. I believe that holds significant value. And that undoubtedly is the distinct charm of projects like Paris Camp. So you inquired about the community's pulse. Specifically right now, as a great deal has already unfolded, I simply wish to briefly touch upon 2 or 3 items, sort of like mentioning little plugins, you know, to elaborate on their nature. So we are actually in the process of shooting a beautiful film. And very recently, we also mounted a spectacular musical theater production, which we've titled Northerner in Paris, Northerner in Paris. It was written, everything from the music composed by the brilliant Vadik Korolev from OQJAV, along with the arrangements from Anya and Lyosha of The Married, who performed it all live. This show was a huge success for us. It ran in Paris. It was completely sold out, every seat, and in March.
More seats than were in the venue. I'm aware.
I can't say it. It's illegal. We oversold tickets.
Then don't say it.
Right. Well, I kind of already said it, let it slip. I mean, we had people who bought VIP tickets and were standing with their VIP tickets. It was absolutely fantastic. So I just want to emphasize that the guys are actually embarking on a major tour this March. So literally, in just a few weeks, however many are left, they'll be touring the Baltic states, Finland, and most likely Poland. So for those who are interested, if you happen to live in those areas, please do find Paris Camp on Instagram and other social media platforms. Find us and you'll see the dates. We're about to announce them in a couple of days. So, Paris Camp is expanding into yet another fascinating vertical, specifically the realm of publishing and the publishing business itself. The thing is, in Paris, there is a unique and legendary publishing house named Inca Press. This publishing house has already been in existence for an entire century. Actually, it turned 100 last year, and it was founded and is still run by the same Struve family. So the descendants of Struve are still there, run it, and it's not just a wonderful bookstore, which, by the way, it is a great bookstore, but it's a publishing house. It has been for the last 20 years. Not just any publishing house, but a unique and legendary one. They last printed and published a Russian book in 1997. So this coming Monday, we're going to have the official presentation of our very first book, a collaboration with Inca Press and Paris Camp. It's called Poets' Time, and it's a poetry collection. It is, in fact, an eponymous project masterfully led by the truly gifted Dmitry Makarov, whose immense talent both you and I absolutely adore and cherish. He is truly the life of the party. And Dima also brings in some very established stars. You mentioned the wonderful Dmitry Vedenyapin, Maria Stepanova, and we have Vadi Korolev again among us. We have been fortunate to have had so many truly wonderful people sharing their own unique poetry, who have been an integral part of this project over these past couple of years. So they each contributed about 3 or 4 poems for this collection. And this coming Monday, many of them will be joining us. So if you're in Paris, we warmly invite you to Inca Press, to this unique bookstore, this truly wonderful place. It promises to be a very pleasant and cozy evening.
To that hallowed place?
Yes, to that hallowed place. And
you should look into the history of that place. It's the epicenter of everything.
What an amazing place. I think we should definitely do a live stream from there as well. Yes, following your example, I believe it's definitely worth doing. We will make it happen. Right, because it's going to be absolutely fascinating. I had wanted to send it to you, maybe even include it in your slide, but here, this is what the cover of our book actually looks like.
Yes, it looks great.
Here too, this is the person the designer who will be joining us within the next week is coming in as a participant of Paris Camp. So we started with just one person. A year later, we're at 19 or 20 people. But truly, we've been awaiting the release of this mobile version because we have around 10 people prepared and eager to participate. And again, this will be fantastic content. The people who will be publishing regularly will include brilliant sommeliers. Yes, so regarding wines.
A mysterious smile.
Top tier. Paris Camp, as you know, is my Paris. I absolutely adore it.
It's the Paris that we all love. People have different feelings about Paris, but this Paris, I think, is impossible not to love. It's just this incredible concentration of talent, joy, and pure light. You understand, don't you?
Yes, thank you, Sasha. Anyway, I've just briefly touched upon a couple of projects, but I really hope we'll continue to explore them further. What I mean is...
First off, congratulations to you too on the launch of your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Called Paris Camp.
Thanks, yes. You and I were still in the testing phase, right? In test mode for now, yes. But I truly believe that I will definitely be broadcasting by Monday. So yes, thank you very much.
That the live streams originating from these very events are also going to be broadcast through the Paris Camp channel on YouTube.
Yes, I believe we'll be offering even more indeed. Because it's not just about the events, but perhaps also getting a peek behind the scenes of how a movie is filmed, for instance, right? Or again, much going on.
I would pay $1 just to read that post.
So we'll wrap this up and everything will be transparent, just like blockchain promises to be, right? All of this directly supports the various project initiatives. So once more, thank you for offering this platform to discuss them. And I'm waiting, hoping to get an invitation. We will certainly invite you there too, so.
I'm always on board, truly. Thank you so much for this update. It's truly wonderful to see you again, and huge congratulations on your channel launch. We'll be meeting more frequently now. Thank you so very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, and now. And so, the ultimate and final segment of our stream today is entirely dedicated to the topic of discussing what lies ahead for us all. So what's brewing over here with us right now? Check this out. Currently, the system is actively operating on the Pulse Chain blockchain. The system is functioning flawlessly, operating 100% of the time, perfectly stable and reliable. There haven't been any interruptions in its operation. The blockchain is fully operational, however, it does come with certain issues. It is quite a marginal blockchain, and there's a significant issue regarding how to acquire SAVVA tokens on this particular platform. And precisely for this reason, or rather not just for this, but also significantly because of it, we will definitely be launching on another blockchain very, very soon. Let me just keep you in suspense for a little bit longer, and I won't name it just yet. The only thing I can describe to you briefly is what it's like. Maybe some of you will guess, but don't give any hints in the comments. It is an EVM blockchain. This means it's a blockchain that upholds all Ethereum standards, which was launched not too long ago in a live network, which, despite the fact that it fully supports the Ethereum protocol, operates considerably faster, processing 1,000 times more transactions per second. Furthermore, the transaction fees within this particular blockchain are currently even more affordable than those found on Pulse Chain. One of the reasons we launched on Pulse Chain was because transactions on Ethereum are very expensive. It was truly inconceivable to envision a social network where one would be required to pay, let's say, $5 just to publish a single comment. That's simply not realistic. Pulse Chain used to offer radically cheaper transaction fees. Well, now there are these new generation blockchains that have emerged, and on these, the transaction fees are even cheaper than before, significantly so. The network's throughput is considerably higher. We are planning to launch the SAVVA platform on one of these very blockchains in the very near future. So stay tuned for updates. Well, what exactly did I want to bring up today? So let me just bring up something very, very important right here. There, this is a truly crucial point. This isn't financial guidance, but rather information for your consideration. For those who don't read English, I will translate what's written on the screen. It says the following. If you happen to notice that some strange people are actively buying the SAVVA token, and they are simply staking it, then don't be surprised at all. What's the reason for this? It's because of the following. When we launch on the new blockchain, there will be a new token on that new blockchain. There are specific reasons why each blockchain needs to have its own SAVVA token. And after SAVVA launches on the new blockchain, a certain number of addresses will receive it completely free automatically and without any charge. There's a very strong suspicion that everyone who is currently staking the SAVVA token on Pulse Chain will be receiving it today. This is still unofficial information. During our upcoming stream, I intend to discuss in detail exactly what we'll be launching, how we'll be doing it, and what actions will be required from you. But in any case, those who've been with our project for many, many years know very well that we always treat all of our token holders with the utmost dignity and respect. And all those who currently hold SAVVA tokens are indeed the beneficiaries of all our exciting new ventures and endeavors. So accordingly, those who hold SAVVA tokens on Pulse Chain today will receive their rightful and deserving share on the other blockchain too. So there you have it. Everything related to Pulse Chain itself will continue to be supported as long as any social networks exist on it, and they will continue to work perfectly fine. We are not talking about switching from one to the other. We don't actually perceive this process in that manner. Instead, we envision the process as us launching this platform on yet another blockchain. So that's how things are. Make sure to stay tuned for more news. Oh yes, please subscribe to my account. It's a very straightforward process. X.com is simply Alex Na. In fact, on both Telegram and YouTube, I had to specifically add the definite article "the" to my name. So since the name Alex Na was already taken, but anyway, I'm quite easy to find. And as it turns out, more than 5,000 people have already found me on YouTube. And I want to thank everyone again for subscribing to my channel. Stick with us. It's going to be very interesting. We discuss what we're actively working on ourselves and what truly sparks our interest. On that note, let's bring our session to a close for today. Thank you all and goodbye.